Okay, so for week 6 of spring anime, we're over halfway finished with the season. So yeah, a lot of cool progressions. We finally know what these shows got in store for us. No more plot twists. There's a bunch of like cool stories. So yeah, I mean, let's get started. I've been liking Windbreaker actually. I'll talk about it first. Why not? So yeah, Windbreaker, we're at episode 7. Sick animation with these fights. I wasn't really a huge fan of this like random mini tournament arc they sprinkled in on us. I thought like, Umemiya, come on, like it's a 1v1 with you. And then also they tell us that these fights have no stakes because it's all about Umemiya and the other like top guy. All these other fights don't matter the outcome, so yeah, just like a bunch of jobbers. But I mean, like the point of these fights is to give us character development. We see like the power level of each guy, how they got stronger, like their backstory. Maybe some people know each other in these two different gangs. And maybe some people aren't all evil, they're just misguided. So yeah, a lot of like characterization from these fights. So yeah, we had the long black-haired guy fighting, he won. We had the dude with the eye patch, he won. And then the main fight in episode 6 was like pretty cool. It's like this long-haired dude and then his childhood friend who like saved them from bullies, and now they're fighting. So yeah, basically the Bofrin school are 3-0s. So logically speaking, maybe the other school will get some W's soon. Maybe over here, because yeah, the fight here is with the main character Haruka. So he is the main character. He's pretty tough. You have to go through adversary, but he's still like kind of young, so maybe he'll lose to this guy because he's fighting the number 2 dude from the other school. He's a dude wearing glasses. His name is Togame, or they also call him Kame. So yeah, I mean, he's pretty tough. He's very tall. Got that like main character energy about him. So yeah, this isn't an easy fight. So it starts off with him instantly tackling Sakura. He just kind of grapples with him and just like trying to stomp on him as well. And he's also really fast. So yeah, he's just like a grapple spammer. You can't really go near him or he'll just take you down. That's pretty funny. Haruka's more of like a striker, just like trying to punch and kick people. So they go back and forth, but we see that Kame is just like way too tough. He can tank these abilities. He can just grab Haruka when he's unaware and just like stomp him. So yeah, definitely a very solid fight so far. Animation's very impressive. And just as Kame's grabbing Haruka, this man is bleeding. He got stomped onto the ground. He does not give up. He keeps breaking free, trying to punch him. They kind of like give this whole speech about like having power. You're with this whole gang of tough people, so you don't really know what struggle feels like. You don't know what freedom is. The only freedom is like having the power to make your own freedom. Shit like that. So yeah, a lot of like inspirational stuff in these fights, you know? Because all these characters have some type of problem, either superficial or like really scarring emotionally. But then Haruka says like, I hate bullies, like you guys are like getting strong the wrong way. And then that's when Kame realizes that this whole fight was like a misunderstanding. Because it's like the other gang that started the shit. Because they kind of bullied this dude from the Bofrin school. So Kame realizes it's his fault. There's some like weaklings in his gang, just like bullying on weak people. So he actually stops the fight. He kind of beat up the 2 dudes that started the whole thing. And basically after that, we do get Kame's backstory. So he is on the evil side, but he does kind of have like a heart of gold. He's like a bit misguided, but basically he's just like a random strong guy, very tough. And then he got scouted by Choji, who's like the current leader of the gang. But basically Choji got really strong. So the fact that he got really strong and he still doesn't really feel satisfied, he feels kind of bored, like, oh, this is all there is. So he kind of wants everyone in his gang to be as strong as him. And in order to do that, he got to beat him up. He got to like kick out all the weak people. So, yeah, that's how like the gang turned from like, you know, boys just hanging out fighting into kind of like this depressing power struggle. So basically Kame is a good guy. He kind of like continues to fight, but he's a bit sad. So he kind of just like slows down. He's taking Sakura's punches. The episode ends there though without the fight concluding. But yeah, pretty intense episode. I kind of want to know who's going to win. It probably doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I guess it looks like our main character Haruka will definitely win. And maybe Kame will have a change of heart. Maybe Choji will kind of beat him up for losing. We definitely got to see Umemiya fight. Maybe it's going to be next episode. Maybe it's going to be later on. But yeah, besides that, that's it for Windbreaker. Okay, so for Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, episode 7, another banger episode. These girls, the journey they're going through, it feels so real. So I mean, yeah, it is getting real because they have like career plans like they're forming. Because yeah, it's their last year in high school. They got to kind of figure out like how to get money, what to do in their future. Are they going to college and stuff? So it looks like Mahiru just like has no idea. She wants to be an artist, but she's not like very confident in her skills. So yeah, that's what she's going through. It looks like Huey has her life kind of sorted for her because she wants to be a middle school teacher, which I mean, it's going to take some time because she's not going to graduate high school normally. So she has to get like licensed and everything. So yeah, that's her goal, which is like pretty admirable. She's also trying to work on getting her driver's license. Everyone's kind of surprised that she has goals and stuff figured out. I mean, she's also still like a part-time VTuber. May is also going to college. So yeah, she has like the piano skills. She's like furthering her education. So that leaves Kano. What is she gonna do? She's kind of like a washed up idol. She wants Jelly to succeed, but besides that, she doesn't really have any goals of her own. She feels a bit left out. So she kind of piggybacks on Kiwi because Kiwi wants her driver's license so she can like kind of ride a motorcycle to school. So Kano joins as well, but she's like very ass at riding the motorcycle. So yeah, this whole episode's kind of looks like her training, getting better and everything. And we also randomly meet like this new character. She's kind of like this older woman called Koharu. She takes an interest in Kiwi. I felt like kind of weird vibes from her. Like, okay, why is she being all creepy and everything? But no, it looks like she just wants to make friends. We see Koharu's kind of like assaulting these girls, like, you know, asking for their cup size, telling them to feel her boobs and shit. So that'd be like decent fan service, but like, I mean, she even admits that this feels kind of illegal, like them fondling her chest. But basically, they all get kind of closer and they kind of like admit why they want to like do what they want to do in the future. Kiwi wants to be a teacher because she struggled a lot in middle school. Oh, like they criticized her for being different. They're like, oh, you usually like grow out of like liking cartoons and shit. So yeah, Kiwi felt like she wasn't normal and she doesn't really want other people to feel that way. Also, after that, we learned that Koharu, the new girl, she like has a shit ton of plastic surgery and shit on her. So it looks like she's kind of like trying to grow out of it because she's like kind of like joking about all of it. You know, fake face, fake titties, all of that. Maybe she got the BBL drizzy. Who knows? But also looks like she has a tattoo on her back that got removed. So yeah, that's why I think that she's kind of like moving on with her life. So I guess it's a very effective way to tell the story. They don't tell you the whole thing, but the way they frame everything, show all these details, definitely makes it enjoyable. Although yeah, again, it was kind of uncomfortable, this like older woman harassing these high school girls. But yeah, anyway, after that, she does give some good advice to Kano, which basically does have a double meaning. It's like, in order to not fall off the motorcycle, you have to just focus on your destination. If you like worry about the things on your left and right, you're just gonna fall. You can't let the fear stop you. So yeah, if you're still insecure about the unknown, you just gotta keep going. So yeah, that way Kano succeeds in her motorcycle exam, but she does fail the written portion, so she has to take it again. At the end of the episode, she talks to Mahiru. We see that Mahiru's kind of like trying to go to art school as well. She gains that confidence and her relationship with Kano's just like getting stronger. So it feels so good. They kind of go to a beach together after like, you know, driving in a motorcycle together. And then they also get pulled over at the end because you can't have like a passenger on your motorcycle behind you. But besides that, you know, very solid episode, very cute. I love the, you know, symbolism. It just feels so real, but it's framed like very beautifully. So yeah, the anime does continue. Okay, so for Kaiju number 8, episode 6, we're fighting kaijus finally. There's like a big attack. So yeah, all the kind of new recruits are fighting. They're on the back lines while everyone else in the defense force are like running forward, trying to attack and trying to limit the kaiju from like, you know, running all over the place. So all the regular people evacuated. So it's like pretty efficient. So it's all up to the defense force to kind of just like, you know, kill everything. So it's like these kind of like crawling little walking kaijus that's coming from this giant big mushroom kaiju. So it looks like Mina is going to handle the big guy while Kafka, Shinomiya, all the other new recruits are going to be on the ground taking on the little crawlers. So it's going pretty well so far. Shinomiya just like showing off. She's using her gun to just like shoot everything. Everyone else is kind of struggling, but they're kind of like doing well in their own way. We see Ichikawa, the white-haired main dude. He's also kind of like doing very well. He's switching ammo. I think his power level is like in the 20s. So yeah, he's pretty strong. And they kind of talk about like a level 20-30% barrier. So they're basically saying that Shinomiya and Ichikawa both have that potential. So that's cool. Well, I mean, Kafka's just chilling at 1%, kind of like doing what he can. So he does have the kaiju knowledge. So he's kind of using that instead of fighting by basically dissecting the already dead kaiju to kind of like investigate their weak points. So they basically have a core at the side of their neck. He kind of relays that information with Hoshina. And he also reveals that they have like these reproductive egg sacs. So he kind of like cuts them off and he tells everyone to cut them off so they don't have to deal with even more kaijus coming in. And it's looking good, but also the most hype thing that happened, Mina showing up, pulling up the BFG, giant ass laser gun, shooting it at the giant kaiju in the middle like 4 or 5 times. She's just like asking permission to shoot because the laser has like a giant like area of effect behind the kaiju, so they have to make sure it's safe. And yeah, she's just blasting that shit. It still kind of releases a lot of like mini kaijus, but everyone's kind of dealing with that. So yeah, I mean, it's like a good way to show everyone kind of contributing. Mina doing her thing. We see Hoshina, and he does like the samurai unsheath sheath in like 1 second and just like destroys the kaiju at light speed. He's kind of proving to Kafka that you gotta be really strong to be like a captain, to stand next to Mina. So a very solid fight basically. It's kind of over. They defeated the main problem. But then we see the humanoid kaiju that appeared before in front of Shinomiya. And then Ichikawa kind of runs into him. And he's kind of like confused, like, oh shit, my plan is being ruined. So it's looking pretty bad for him. This dude seems to be like a main villain. But yeah, we met a lot of cool characters. The cast has was expanded, a lot of funny moments. And I'm loving the kaiju fights. Mina is so badass, and the story does continue. Alright, so for KonoSuba, season 3, episode 6, good payoff at the beginning of this episode because, last time we got the big tittied cliffhanger. Darkness and the Night Lady kind of bathing with Iris. It was so hot, but it was Kazuma in Iris's body, so you can't really have Kazuma getting anything nice, okay? The payoff is there. So what do? They body swap at the exact second Iris gets undressed and Kazuma gets punched in the face by random people in an alleyway. And more KonoSuba hijinks do continue. So after that, Kazuma's like getting prepared to leave the castle, which kind of sucks. Everyone's giving him a hard time. He, feels ashamed. He didn't really do anything, and he just, like, hassled so many people. But yeah, they do have to get Iris's necklace off her, because, they're trying to, like, steal all these, like, goddess relics. So basically, Chris kind of comes through. They kind of team up. They wear, like, these thief outfits. Kazuma's wearing, like, the mask he got from Vanir. So they're kind of, like, doing their thing. Kazuma's, like, very powerful, actually. So he's just, like, doing spells, attacking all these knights. They're supposed to sneak into the castle, but yeah, they just, like, alerted everybody. We see the sword guy, Kisurugi, I think. So yeah, Kazuma just, like, freezes him and like waterboards him. Kazuma also like drain touches the other like Night Lady and everyone else, so he kind of steals her mana. So yeah, while they reach Iris's room, we see Darkness there protecting her, of course. Darkness instantly recognizes Kazuma and Chris, so she has no idea what to do. She's so embarrassed, but she has to kind of stop them, but she can't really like attack them because she has like 0 accuracy. And anyway, they kind of like sneak up on Chris, do like a double steal, and then jump out the window. And we see Megaman just like fawning over Kazuma, how cool he is. I mean, that's like a cool moment there. But yeah, Darkness meets up with them later, and then she's like, I understand, but yeah, just don't tell anyone about this. And she also realizes that Kazuma has Princess Iris's ring because they did a double steal just to like make sure they got the necklace. And then the ring is kind of like a big deal because it's part of like a tradition where if you take off the ring and give it to someone, the person you give to is basically your husband. So the fact that Kazuma has it, if he admits that he has it, then he's basically married to the princess, which you kind of have to take that secret to the grave. But like big reveal at the end, Princess Iris already knew it was Kazuma. She had a feeling, so then she also kind of asked him to defeat the Demon Lord as well. So, this is a parody show, however, so I don't think it's going to go that easy. But yeah, basically, a lot of funny moments here. We kind of like say farewell to the princess as the story continues, and I guess we're collecting more of these like kind of goddess artifacts. All right, and after Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc, episode 2. Pretty solid episode, got some wholesome moments with Tanjiro and Giyu. So yeah, this dude has an inferiority complex. He doesn't see himself as a level of the pillars, even though he is the water pillar. And then the other guys don't really understand. They think he's just like acting all superior. So yeah, I mean, classic case of just being antisocial. Feels pretty funny. But yeah, classic Demon Slayer episode. It won't be a Demon Slayer season without a lot of backstories. So it feels like kind of like a sense of finality. We're kind of like wrapping up all these characters' plot lines. It feels like we're making it so we resolve everything right before the final fight. So yeah, I mean, Tanjiro is basically stalking Giyu because he's just like isolating himself. And then yeah, we get his backstory where he pretty much failed the first exam to becoming a demon slayer, so he feels like very shameful because his friend Sabito saved him. That's the guy that Tanjiro kind of had visions of during his demon slayer test. So yeah, basically Sabito was a Giga Chad, just destroyed all demons single-handedly, but he got fooled and killed by the last demon. So yeah, everyone else survived. So yeah, Giyu has survivor's guilt. He thinks he's useless. He thinks like everyone else should have lived besides him. He also has an inferiority complex. He's also antisocial. He can't really talk to anyone about this. So yeah, all it takes is Tanjiro just like bothering him every day, kind of like giving him rice balls and sneaking up on him in the bathroom. And then finally Giyu opens up. Tanjiro says some inspirational shit to him, like your life isn't the waste, you should use it to help others. And yeah, Giyu's back in there, so I guess he's gonna participate in the Demon Slayer training, try to get that mark, and strengthen out that water breathing. It's kind of like boring, but I do like the vibe of this episode. Also, after that, we do get Shinobu, so she's doing some shit too. She's not participating in the training. She's actually collabing with the other kind of like demon doctor that Tanjiro was working with, that was like doing experiments with Nezuko's blood. So it's kind of interesting because yeah, she's been cool, calm, and collected like overall throughout the series, but she's just like bottling stuff up. So it looks like Shinobu's trying to get revenge for her sister. She actually talks to Kanao at the end of the episode. Kanao wants to like keep fighting with Shinobu, and Shinobu's like, girl, let me tell you my backstory. Let me tell you how to kill this demon. So yeah, that's interesting. Maybe we're gonna find out more next episode. But yeah, the season continues, kind of like a shortened season, but the pillars are doing things. We're pretty much preparing for the final battle. A lot of shit might happen. Okay, so for a salad bowl of Eccentrics, episode 7. Anime is so funny. The story does continue. We're on Sarah's point of view now, but we see Sosuke kind of wants her to live like a normal girl because she kind of made a friend with the other girl. So he tries to ask the lolly lawyer, what is the process of having an isekai person enroll into school, where basically they have no family registered or foreign, they might be an orphan. So it's very hard, but basically Japan does have like a right to like give you an education as long as they do like some type of background check. And then if not, then you gotta do illegal underground shit to kind of like make up a fake family register. We see the lawyer kind of getting jealous because Sarah might be Sosuke's illegitimate daughter. The lawyer assistant, we meet her as well. She kind of has like a lot of funny inputs as well. Also, she's into buildings. But basically a lot of characters' point of views happening this episode. We go on another case. We realize that Sarah can also dye her hair black, which is randomly kind of helpful. But basically they go undercover because there's this dude who seems to be like going out more and having more energy when coming home, so his wife tries to investigate him. So they basically find out that he's not cheating on the wife, but he's basically betting on horse racing, so I guess he wants to hide his gambling addiction. And basically Sarah also wants to gamble. So she does the highest return gamble, which is to guess the order of the top 3 horses, and she wins multiple times. They win over 300,000 yen, which is more than their case pays them. It looks like she's like super lucky, or she has like some supernatural like hack ability. But basically, yeah, we're just like looking at these horse races. All these horses have like some type of sexual innuendo name, which is also pretty funny. But basically at the end, they kind of like talk to the guy accidentally, but basically they realize that he's not really cheating on the wife, or he doesn't really have a gambling addiction either, because his kids were playing a horse racing game, maybe Uma Musume, and he was just like watching the real life horses to kind of like get more information on horse racing to relate to them maybe. But basically it led to him kind of getting addicted to it, so that's why he like kept it secret. But basically Sosuke and Sarah kind of tell him to, just bring your kids here and then they'll enjoy it too. So I mean, a good happy ending, kind of like, very fun slice of life moments, very funny animes. So yeah, we'll see what's gonna happen next time, but the family relationship between Sosuke and Sarah is going pretty strong. Okay, so for Dungeon Meshi episode 20, pretty cool episode, kind of forgettable, but yeah, we just do 2 things here. One, we fight this ice golem in the snow. The cat girl Izusumi kind of helps out, but she also doesn't want to eat all these monsters. They eat some fish that they took from the ice golem, I guess. And then Izuzumi's kind of like giving them a hard time though, because like Laios is like, bro, just eat the food, it makes no sense. But then Izuzumi's like, monsters are gross, I want to eat what I want to eat. So they're both like kind of like an impasse, but we see like kind of Izuzumi's like past, where she kind of gives a lot of people a hard time because she doesn't want to do things that she doesn't want to do basically. But she's kind of like learning and growing from these experiences. So yeah, I mean, they meet this other monster, which is kind of like this like tree that attracts like carnivores, call it bromance. So they fight like a lot of wolves, and then they take down the tree, they eat the food, but eventually with Laos's party, you just get used to eating all these monsters. So yeah, Dungeon Meshi does continue. All right, so for Yuru Camp season 3 episode 7, chill episode again, we kind of see the point of view of the other campers. So yeah, we had Brandon and Desho's point of view for the longest, but yeah, all the other girls, they were doing their own camping. They're kind of like giving us a recap. They're telling us the backstory on what they did. So yeah, they had their own journey, which is kind of long. They went to Yamanashi. It's kind of cold there, but yeah, basically they took a bus. They're kind of walking on a path going through sites. They had to like stop at an onsen, and then they were kind of in a rush. They had to like hike up this like giant ass hill, and then after that they made it to their campsite, did some camping. So yeah, chill episode. We got the point of view of Aki, Aoi, and Enna. So yeah, I guess more comfy camping adventures do continue. Okay, so for Spice and Wolf Remake episode 7, another solid episode. Hollow and Lawrence kind of like continuing on their journey. We're going to like new towns, kind of selling these spices. So yeah, I mean, every time we're trying to like do trades, there's some 200 IQ plays going on, people trying to scam each other. So yeah, Lawrence is trying to sell the spices to the church, but the problem is they have like a rigged scale. So yeah, Lawrence is kind of getting scammed, but then Hollow, bro, she senses everything. So she kind of like sees that the table is like uneven, so you can't really see the scales being rigged. So then she kind of drops water, so she sees that the water flows like unevenly. So then they kind of blackmail the guy. They're like, oh, if it gets out that you're scamming people, that's going to be a problem. So basically they sell the spice for a good profit, and then they get some free armor and shit too. So I mean, that's going good. And it looks like Hollow made a lot of money for him. But it looks like this plot line where Hollow's just like being greedy, eating all the food, and she can't really pay him back. I'm like, bro, she already paid you back like tenfold. Like Hollow even says, oh, can you buy some hair oil for me? And he's just being all stingy. I guess this is how merchants are. But also we realized that if Hollow does technically pay him back, then she's free, and then they don't get to hang out anymore. So yeah, that's going on. Just like saying this as a pretense. They just kind of like strengthen their relationship. But yeah, I mean, the big thing, we do get a cliffhanger at the end of the episode where like there's just like random sheep herder at the middle of the road, and then she's like this girl with blonde hair. I think, is this one of the girls in his village? Because yeah, if it's like similar to like the original Space and Wolf, then it's like the love triangle shit happening right now. So I mean, we met Yarai, now we meet this girl from the same village. It's a small world, I guess. I mean, we got to see. That's just a theory. It could be a new girl. It's been a while since I watched the original, so I'm not sure about all these characters, but it seems like this is the same girl. But I mean, Lawrence does seem faithful to his like wolf waifu goddess. Okay, so for Whisper Me, a love song, episode 6. Yeah, pretty cute episode. Basically, the main thing that happens is that they're preparing for the concert. So Himari and Yuri kind of go on a date to like kind of buy outfits and shit. After that, though, yeah, Yuri's like very kind of nervous for the concert, but she plays like her song. It's kind of like fast forwarded. We don't hear the whole thing. It's not really Bocchi the Rock levels. But yeah, the last song Yuri sings is Sunny Spot, made specifically for Himari. So yeah, just like revealing all her feelings, just like a bright light shining on her. Ever since she met her, they want to just like be together. Her life changes. She's just like overflowing with joy. So yeah, just like pouring her heart to Himari with their song. And then Himari kind of reciprocates, and then she accepts. So they're dating. Okay, concert successful. That's pretty cute. We see that Yuri kissed Himari in the cheek. Himari kind of kisses her back later in the episode. That's cool. We see the other girl in the band that had feelings for Yuri. She's kind of friend-zoned, so she feels like a bit sad about this, but I guess she accepts her role in the story. Besides that, cool episode, very cute. I do like that they're dating, so yeah, hopefully it goes well. Okay, so for Train to the End of the World, episode 7, we're at the zombie arc. So yeah, a lot of these zombies are kind of led by the zombie queen, and they kidnap Shizuru, but everyone has to rescue her, or she'll just like turn into a zombie. So the whole squad comes in, try to rescue her. They kind of like colors their faces so the zombies don't recognize them. Seems like zombies are pretty stupid here. Even the zombie queen, she's like a bit naive. But it's revealed that she's not actually a zombie. So she was like disguising herself as a zombie. We realized that the zombie's weakness is like loot things. So yeah, trying to flash them or just like reading smut to them, shit like that. But basically the zombie queen likes hanging out with these dudes. It's like family. And even though she's a human, they kind of like respect her and they follow her. So I mean, it's a cute train stop we had. Like the humans and zombies have an alliance now. They played House of the Dead in this episode, which is kind of cool. And yeah, besides that, another goofy train stop. We're getting closer and closer to Ikebukuro, so yeah, I mean the girls are surviving so far. And yeah, besides that, it looks like the zombie girl kind of tells us there's a queen in Ikebukuro, so you gotta be careful. So that might be Yoka herself. She turned into a monster. We gotta see, but yeah, the anime does continue. Okay, so far I was reincarnated as a 7th prince, bro. What is this author on? Am I going on a list for watching this anime? Because yeah, like we meet the Assassin's Guild this episode, but shit's so weird. So first Lloyd gets like ambushed by one of the assassins. She kind of like traps him in a barrier, and she like expels some like poison on him that's like uncurable. Looks like Lloyd can like out heal the poison though. But yeah, I mean the main problem is that she has to like strip to like expel the poison from her body. Yes, this is scientifically accurate. The fan service is necessary. But yeah, Lloyd kind of like tracks her down, and then he meets the rest of the Assassin's Guild. A bunch of like random people, and it looks like while Lloyd is fighting them, his pants get ripped off, so he's just like fighting them with no pants. His ass is just hanging out. So he kind of like has some blades on him. He's doing like the breathing techniques, and he's just beating all these assassins. So it looks like these assassins aren't evil. They're kind of just like shunned by society because they have like uncontrollable powers. So Lloyd kind of like channels their mana, and instead of defeating them, he kind of like makes them good by making them able to control their powers, so they can live in society like normal people. Even the kind of like naked poison girl, he kind of like controls her power as well, so she can wear clothes again. So it's all good. Everyone's kind of happy, but everyone else from the kingdom thinks that Lloyd got kidnapped by the Assassin's Guild, and he went on to like this other country, so they go to war with that country. Some misunderstandings coming through, but yeah, crazy ass episode. I don't know why these characters are just like gotta be naked, but it is what it is. All right, now for My Hero Academia season 7 episode 3. So it's kind of like a cool down episode because like all that shit happened with the Stars and Stripes. Yeah, she died, so basically we have like a week. She kind of bought us some time for Shigaraki's body to like sync with All For One. But it's kind of just like a whatever episode. Basically the main thing is Aoyama. He's kind of revealed to be the traitor that we saw like from season 1. It's like, who cares about this plotline? Who cares if Aoyama is evil? It looks like his parents were rich and bought a quirk from All For One. So yeah, the fact that they did that, they're kind of like indebted to him. So basically, yeah, that's why they were like doing all this shit. But it really doesn't matter. Aoyama thinks he's kind of like a villain, but yeah, Deku kind of like meets up with them and says, no, you're not. We also see the invisible girl there. She kind of like blocks the laser, and then face reveal. That's kind of huge. If you've been following the manga, yeah, her whole body and shit is revealed. But yeah, I mean, face reveal. She has like kind of like greenish hair, some big ass titties. These characters are in high school, so yes, please forgive me. I didn't mean it. But yeah, basically, yeah, the villains are doing their thing. I think the invisible girl, Hagakure, she's kind of like hiding in All For One's lair as well. So she kind of knows his evil plan. I don't know how she had the time to go there back to 1A. But basically, we do have some intel on All For One's plan. The squad, they're trying to like power up, get stronger. And I guess Aoyama's getting redeemed. So yeah, he's working with the squad. I mean, his power's like very useless. I don't think it matters either way, like what he does. But yeah, Deku being the guy that he is, you know, generic shonen shit. He's like, yeah, you can still be a hero. And yeah, that is it for the shows this week. Thank you for watching. You know, how are you liking the spring anime season so far? Over halfway done, so yeah, a lot of like cool shows out here. I've been saying this every week, but it's hard to keep up with everything. I'm talking about the shows I like, but there's still like a lot of like cool random romance shows. There's a lot of like supernatural shows, even more isekais to talk about as well. So yeah, they're all here. Let me know what you're thinking about the season. But yeah, I'll see you next week.